Most people believe that yogurt is one of the healthiest and safest foods you can eat. It is found in nearly every grocery store refrigerator, recommended by doctors, and praised by dietitians as a gut-healing, immunity-boosting superfood. But what if I told you that this trusted favorite, when eaten the wrong way, could silently damage your body from the inside out? It sounds unbelievable, even unfair. Something so simple, so wholesome, could actually be doing more harm than good. And yet, that is exactly what new research is revealing. Every morning, millions of people peel back the lid of a yogurt cup with good intentions. They believe they are supporting their digestion, caring for their heart, protecting their immune system. But in truth, many are making small but critical mistakes that turn yogurt from a health ally into a silent threat. These mistakes do not make headlines. They do not come with warning labels. But their impact can build slowly and quietly, leading to inflammation, digestive imbalances, and even serious illness without warning. In this video, we are going to uncover 6 of the most common yogurt mistakes people make. You might be surprised by how familiar they sound. You might even realize you have been doing some of them for years without ever thinking twice. But do not worry. This is not about fear. This is about awareness, about giving you the knowledge to make better choices and get the full health benefits from something you already enjoy. And here is something you should not miss. Mistake number 2 has been linked to a surge in bacterial toxins that can spread through your bloodstream and inflame your heart without you even knowing it. So, stay with me until the end. This information could change the way you eat yogurt forever, and it might just protect your health in ways you never imagined. So, let us begin with the first mistake, one that seems harmless but has the power to quietly strip yogurt of its greatest benefit. It is something most people do out of habit or convenience. But when you understand the science behind it, you may never look at your morning bowl the same way again. The mistake is eating yogurt with acidic or hot foods. Now, you might think, what is wrong with mixing yogurt with strawberries or enjoying it with a hot cup of coffee? After all, fruit and yogurt sound like the perfect pair. But here is the problem. Many popular fruits like oranges, grapefruits, pineapples, and even strawberries contain high levels of natural acids. When these acids come into contact with the beneficial bacteria in yogurt, they begin to destroy them almost immediately. According to a study published in the Journal of Dairy Science, combining yogurt with acidic fruits can reduce the live probiotic count by as much as 85% within just 5 minutes. That means by the time you finish your bowl, the very bacteria you hoped would improve your gut health may already be gone. And it is not just acidic fruits. Hot foods or beverages like coffee, soup, or even warm oatmeal can have a similar effect. The heat can kill off probiotics and also alter the structure of yogurt proteins, making them harder to digest. In some people, this change can trigger mild allergic reactions or digestive discomfort issues that yogurt is supposed to help, not cause. But the solution is simple and easy to apply. If you enjoy fruit in your yogurt, choose options with a more neutral pH like bananas, blueberries, or melons. These fruits will not interfere with probiotic survival. Also, try to wait at least 30 minutes after drinking hot beverages before eating yogurt, so your digestive system has time to cool down and welcome the healthy bacteria. Even better, eat yogurt by itself, between meals, when your stomach acid is at its lowest, usually mid-morning or mid-afternoon. This timing can actually triple the amount of probiotics that reach your intestines alive, giving you far more benefit from the same serving. And if you want to take it a step further, add a small teaspoon of raw honey. Honey acts as a prebiotic, feeding the good bacteria and helping them multiply in your gut. Scientists call this a symbiotic effect, where the food and the bacteria work together to amplify health benefits. These simple changes do not take much effort, but they can completely transform the way yogurt supports your health. And now that we know how food combinations can quietly destroy probiotics, it is time to talk about another silent threat one that begins the moment you open the container. Once you have chosen the right time and food to pair with your yogurt, you might feel confident that you are doing everything right. But here is where the second mistake quietly sneaks in, and it has nothing to do with what you eat, but when and how you store it after opening. Most people trust the printed expiration date as the final word on freshness. But in reality, the moment you open a container of yogurt, a different kind of clock starts ticking, one that most people never think about. This mistake is ignoring the safety window after opening your yogurt. That little foil lid or plastic cover does more than keep the yogurt sealed. It protects it from airborne bacteria and prevents exposure to contaminants. But the second you peel it back, you create an environment where dangerous microorganisms can begin to grow even if the yogurt still looks, smells, and tastes perfectly normal. According to food microbiologists at Cornell University, harmful bacteria like Listeria monocytogenes and certain strains of E. coli can start developing in opened yogurt within just a few days, even when it is refrigerated. The process happens gradually at first, but bacteria multiply exponentially in what scientists call logarithmic growth. Under the right conditions, a small colony can explode into millions within 48 hours. Many people think they are being frugal by saving a large container of yogurt and eating from it throughout the week. But if that container has been open for more than 5 days or 3 days for Greek yogurt, you may be risking much more than just a strange aftertaste. Greek yogurt is less acidic than regular yogurt, which means it offers less protection against bacterial growth. Even more concerning, many of the bacteria that cause foodborne illness do not produce obvious signs of spoilage. You might not see mold, smell anything strange, or notice a change in texture. But the danger is still there, silently growing with every passing hour. To protect yourself, stick to a simple rule. Once opened, finish regular yogurt within 5 days and Greek yogurt within 3. Store it on the bottom shelf of your refrigerator, where the temperature is most stable, not in the door, where warm air rushes in every time you open it. Always use a clean spoon each time you serve, even if you think it is just a quick scoop. And if you ever notice any separation of liquid, an unusually thick or runny texture, or a smell that feels even slightly off, do not second guess it. Just throw it away. The cost of one yogurt is nothing compared to the days you could lose to food poisoning. This leads us to a surprising third mistake that has nothing to do with what is inside the yogurt, but everything to do with the container it comes in. While it is easy to focus on what we can see like mold or spoilage, the next mistake lies in something we often overlook entirely: the very material that holds our food. You may be surprised to learn that the container your yogurt comes in could quietly be leaching harmful chemicals into every spoonful. And what is even more troubling is that this contamination is nearly impossible to detect by taste, smell, or appearance. This mistake is choosing yogurt packaged in unsafe plastic. Most commercial yogurts are sold in plastic containers for convenience and cost, but not all plastics are created equal. Some types, especially those marked with recycling codes 3, 6, or 7, are made with materials like polyvinyl chloride, polystyrene, or polycarbonate. These plastics can contain hormone-disrupting chemicals such as phthalates and styrene. Over time, and especially under stress like temperature changes, these chemicals can slowly seep into the yogurt itself. A study published in Environmental Health Perspectives revealed that yogurt stored in certain plastic containers showed chemical leaching rates up to 50 times higher than previously estimated. The acidic nature of yogurt actually speeds up this process, breaking down the plastic from the inside. And with every temperature change when the yogurt is taken out of the fridge and returned later, the leaching intensifies. Long-term exposure to these substances has been linked to reproductive issues, hormonal imbalance, and even increased cancer risk. What is most alarming is that these chemicals do not always leave a trace. You might be eating what looks and tastes like perfectly normal yogurt, unaware that each bite carries a small chemical burden. Thankfully, there are safer options. Glass is the gold standard when it comes to food storage. It is non-reactive, long-lasting, and completely free from synthetic chemicals. If your favorite yogurt brand does not come in glass, consider transferring it to a clean glass jar or stainless steel container as soon as you get home. It may feel like an extra step, but it can make a meaningful difference over time. If you prefer to buy yogurt in plastic, look for containers marked with recycling code 2HDPE or code 5 polypropylene. These are generally considered safer for food storage and are less prone to chemical breakdown. Also, avoid microwaving yogurt in its original container and never leave it sitting at room temperature for more than 30 minutes. Being mindful of the packaging is just as important as the product itself. And now that you know what to look for on the outside, let us turn our attention back to what is inside, because the next mistake is hiding in plain sight behind a layer of sweetness. If the container is the first layer of protection, then what is inside that container is the heart of the matter. But many people do not realize that the yogurt they trust for its health benefits has been quietly transformed into a sugary trap. This brings us to the fourth mistake, and it is one that almost every grocery shopper has made at some point. The mistake is choosing flavored yogurt instead of plain. At first glance, fruit-flavored yogurts seem healthy. They show images of fresh berries or peaches on the label, and words like light, natural, or low-fat are printed in bold to catch your eye. But the reality is far less wholesome. Most flavored yogurts are packed with added sugars, sometimes up to 30 grams per serving. That is more sugar than in a glazed donut. This sugar does more than just tip the scale. It feeds harmful bacteria in your gut, throwing off the delicate balance of your microbiome. While yogurt is meant to support digestive health, the added sugars in flavored varieties can do the exact opposite, fueling inflammation, bloating, and even triggering sugar cravings that keep you reaching for more. Worse yet, to cut calories, many brands use artificial sweeteners like aspartame or sucralose instead of sugar. But research published in the journal Nature has shown that these sweeteners may disrupt gut bacteria even more severely than sugar itself, leading to glucose intolerance, insulin resistance, and long-term metabolic issues. People often choose flavored yogurt, thinking it is a healthier dessert or snack, but the truth is that it is closer to processed candy than a nourishing food. The good news is that you have options, and making the switch can be easier than you think. Start with plain, unsweetened yogurt as your base, then add your own ingredients at home. A few slices of banana, a handful of fresh berries, or a teaspoon of raw honey can bring natural sweetness without overwhelming your gut with sugar. You are in full control of what goes in and how much. It may take a little time for your taste buds to adjust. But after a few weeks, many people find that flavored yogurt begins to taste overly sweet, almost artificial. Your palate will start to appreciate the clean, tangy flavor of real yogurt, and your body will thank you for it. By switching to plain yogurt and customizing it yourself, you get all the probiotic benefits. Reduce your sugar intake by up to 75% and avoid the gut-damaging effects of sweeteners. It is a small change with a big impact. Now that we have uncovered what is hiding inside your yogurt cup, let us shift our focus to what happens after you buy it, because mistake number 5 can turn a healthy food into a serious hazard in just a matter of minutes. Once you have brought home the right kind of yogurt, plain, unsweetened, and safely packaged, there is still one mistake that can undo all your efforts. And the danger begins not with what you eat, but how long your yogurt spends outside the refrigerator. Mistake number 5 is one of the most underestimated and yet potentially dangerous habits of all. The mistake is breaking the cold chain. The cold chain refers to keeping yogurt consistently below 40 degrees Fahrenheit from the moment it leaves the factory until the moment you eat it. Most people assume that as long as the yogurt ends up back in the fridge, everything is fine. But temperature fluctuations along the way, some barely noticeable, can create the perfect environment for dangerous bacteria to grow. Let us walk through a typical scenario. You pick up yogurt early during your grocery shopping trip. It sits in your cart while you browse, then spends another 20 minutes in your car on the way home. By the time it reaches your fridge, it may have spent nearly an hour above the safe temperature range. And if it is summer or your car is warm, that time is enough to start bacterial growth. According to data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, bacteria in dairy products like yogurt can double every 20 minutes when left at room temperature. And these bacteria do not just go away once the yogurt is chilled again. Some of them release toxins that remain active, even if you return the yogurt to a cold environment. That is why over 1,500 people end up in hospitals each year from food poisoning related to dairy, many of whom never suspected the yogurt in their fridge could be the cause. To protect yourself and your family, adopt a few simple habits. Always shop for yogurt last, right before checkout. Use an insulated bag with an ice pack when transporting yogurt home, especially in warm weather. Once you get home, refrigerate it immediately, and never leave it out on the counter for more than 15 minutes. Also, double-check the temperature of your refrigerator. Studies show that nearly half of home fridges run warmer than 40 degrees without anyone realizing it. A simple thermometer can help you make sure your yogurt is truly being stored safely. We often think of yogurt as low risk, but safety begins the moment you pick it up at the store. And even if you follow every step perfectly, there is still one mistake that most people make after they get home, a mistake that involves something as small as a spoon. You might be surprised to learn that even after choosing the right yogurt, storing it properly, and protecting the cold chain, there is still one mistake that can quietly undo everything. And it begins the moment you open the lid and reach for a spoon. This brings us to mistake number 6, the one that often hides in plain sight. The mistake is double dipping and cross-contamination. It sounds harmless. You take a bite of yogurt, go back for another scoop with the same spoon, and put the container back in the fridge. Or maybe you share a tub of yogurt with your spouse, your child, or a friend, each person dipping their spoon in. It feels familiar, even cozy. But inside that container, something dangerous is happening. Your mouth contains over 700 species of bacteria. Most of them are completely natural and harmless when they stay in your mouth. But when introduced into yogurt, those same bacteria can multiply quickly, feeding on the nutrients in the yogurt and forming biofilms that protect them from the yogurt's natural acidity. A study published in the International Journal of Food Microbiology found that bacterial loads in contaminated yogurt can reach dangerous levels within just 48 hours, up to 10 million colony-forming units per gram. That is 1,000 times higher than the level considered safe for consumption. And here is what makes it even more troubling. Many of the bacteria introduced through double dipping are resistant to antibiotics. If they cause an infection, especially in children, older adults, or people with weakened immune systems, they can lead to serious illness. There have even been documented cases of children developing life-threatening infections from yogurt that had been contaminated by a sibling spoon. What started as an innocent moment of sharing became a hospital stay and weeks of recovery. To prevent this, make it a rule in your home. Never eat yogurt directly from the container unless you plan to finish it in one sitting. Always use a clean spoon each time. If multiple people are eating yogurt, portion it into individual bowls before anyone starts eating. These simple steps only take a few seconds, but they can prevent days or even weeks of illness. Another smart habit is to portion out your yogurt into single-serving jars or containers as soon as you bring it home. This helps with cleanliness, portion control, and tracking how long each serving has been stored. Yogurt can be a powerful ally for your health, but like anything, it depends on how you use it. And now that we have uncovered all 6 mistakes, let us take a moment to reflect on what they mean and how small changes can lead to big protection. When you step back and look at the full picture, something becomes very clear. None of the 6 mistakes we have talked about are outrageous or extreme. In fact, they are all incredibly common, and that is what makes them so dangerous. They slip into our routines quietly, just a bite here, a habit there, until they become invisible. But the good news is this: each one is also easily fixable. By simply being aware, you can protect your body, preserve the powerful benefits of probiotics, and turn yogurt back into the health-boosting food it was meant to be. Eat it on its own between meals. Pair it with neutral fruits and natural probiotics. Respect its shelf life and store it in stable temperatures. Choose safe containers. Avoid sugary flavors. And always use a clean spoon. These are not rules to restrict your life. They are small habits that can support it. What we eat matters. But even more than that, how we eat matters. Every bite is a choice. And when those choices are made with intention and care, they add up to something meaningful over time. They build resilience, balance, and a quiet kind of protection from within. So the next time you open a container of yogurt, do not just think of it as a snack. Think of it as an opportunity, a moment to care for your gut, your heart, and your future. A simple act that honors your health in the present and safeguards it for the long run. If this video helped you see things in a new light, I hope you will share it with someone you care about. And if you have a story, a habit, or even a mistake you have made with yogurt, leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Stay informed, stay intentional, and above all, stay healthy. Thank you for watching.